see you, buddy. Before we go any further, though, can I just say, I reckon you're doing an awesome job by putting something like this together. This is fantastic. So I wish you.
Excellent.
That'd be great.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Craig. Well, it's really good to have you here as well. It's so funny. Even before this coronavirus outbreak and all that stuff, it was like we would always do, the odd phone call every now and then. But it's so hard to catch up, isn't it?
We're busy. You got young family, and I've got young family, and it's time gets in the way sometimes. But the good thing about the coronavirus is it's kind of given us a bit of time to chill out and get back to the good stuff. We catch up and we say hello. So
yeah.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it at the moment, to be honest.
It's just a whole uncertainty. How long is this going to go for? What's going to happen? Especially being a musician. It's a little bit daunting. Especially when you've got it's a Friday night. I'm sure if this has been any normal Friday, you would probably have been out gigging somewhere.
8:30 on a Friday, where would it be? But I don't know, maybe 10 people would have been watching me down a little cafe somewhere, or I don't know, who knows. But would have been having a couple of beers, mate, and just enjoying the night. But this is actually a nice change, so I'm actually looking forward to this. This will be good fun.
Yeah, good. No, me too. Me too. So we can, I reckon we should just get into it. We just listen to "Free Me," which is, again, out of the few songs I've heard, I must admit this song is just like got goosebumps again. It's just like this song to me is just like the whole atmosphere about it, vocals, the production. It just ties in. It's such a good song, man. Tell us a bit about it. How did that song come about, and what's it about?
Well, thanks, Steph. I mean, okay, so this song was really just about, I guess, escaping life, getting away from. One of the things I love to do when I'm not writing music and stuff is go for a drive, out back or the bush or whatever, and do a bit of camping or whatever. And this song is really just about getting away from, I don't know, the stresses of everyday life, taking yourself off, and so I wanted it to be like a kind of a driving song. So once you're out on the open road and you got the cranking the speakers up, it can maybe take you to a place of, I don't know, self-happiness, if you like. So that's kind of what the song's about, really.
Yeah, I had a look through the lyrics as well. You put them up on your Bandcamp page, and yeah, they sort of remind you of something when you go, if you take the kids camping on the weekend, or you just want to go drive out in the bush. It's sort of like get away from the daily race.
Well, there's a lot of that about on this album. When you were part of, and the viewers might not even know, but Steph is an awesome drummer, and he was part of the last album and recording, along with another good friend, Matt Milford, and some other people. That's it. That's the album.
Got it right here.
That's the album, and we had some great times, and that was more of a we just had kind of met, and we were sort of like putting this little band together, and we were hoping that things would go well. And then, I don't know, just all of a sudden things kind of stopped. My partner left, and that was a big one for me, because I was hoping that the family was going to be sticking together, and the little family life into the future. But that kind of put a bit of a dent in things. And then, you had kids yourself, and Matt was really busy with other things, so we probably didn't get as many gigs under our belt as we probably wanted to. But this time around, seven years later, I guess. In fact, it's about seven years to the week. Can you believe that? Since we released that last album,
it's a bit crazy, isn't it?
It is, mate. So this time around is probably more of a reflection of what's happened in my own personal life over the last 7 years. But it's, I guess what I'm trying to get out of this album is the theme of it is pretty much love, loss, and hope. When you initially, there's probably lots of people out there at the moment that are in a similar boat. When you split up or whatever, you think that the world's falling apart and you're never going to get out of it. And everyone seems to tell you, just give it time, mate. Just give it time. You go, yeah, that's all right for you to say, but I'm sad, So, and but it's true though. So sooner or later, even though you're devastated at first, you do manage to pick yourself up, and then eventually comes that stage of, I don't know, just getting yourself back up, getting on with things, and then there becomes a bit of a hope for the future. So what I'm trying to do, or what we were trying to do with this album, was basically start at the beginning and then just work through the kind of feelings, and then at the end, the last track is actually the title track, which is Into the Great Unknown, and that's just about, right, what happens from now. The album's done, it's out. Where does life go from here? So that's kind of what it's about.
Yeah, good. Well, actually, now you bring it up, the actual cover, or the title track. Could you tell us a little bit more about the cover? Because I had a look at that, and it's this guy sort of swimming out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's quite easy to tell you about that one, because there's a couple of things tied in there. Number one. And I don't know, I mean, probably some of my friends might know this or not, but my passion outside music, which is, in fact, it probably is even more than passion, is swimming. I love swimming. I swim every day, and so open water swimming just sort of made me think, like if you kept swimming, and you just kept going and going and going, you'd be into the great unknown. You wouldn't know what was coming next, type thing. And so it was just that vision of that lone swimmer, not knowing what's happening next, and I just kind of struck a chord with me. So you got to stop. You got to excuse me. I'm trying to go from this camera, then I'm looking at you, and I'm going like, because you're up in this monitor up here. It's quite funny.
Ah, yeah, because you're watching the stream as well on the.
I got a
yeah.
So
now you just got to focus on the one straight ahead here. Yeah. So in regards to the cover, I'm assuming did you do the cover yourself, because you're quite creative with that stuff as well?
Nah, don't tell anyone, but I downloaded a free picture off the net, because I mean, as musers, we're a bit cheap these days sometimes, and you just go, oh, that looks like a pretty good picture. I'll try that one, and I'm not a big rock star, so I might get away with it, So,
please tell me that's not how you did all the other instruments as well.
No. In actual fact, but that's a good point you bring up there about the other instruments, because I feel like I'm talking over you here, but
no, please go. It's all about you, man.
No, oh, great.
That's why we're here tonight. We want to hear about this album. If it ever comes out, I think it was supposed to be released like a year ago or something. But
5 years ago, still going. But
yeah.
Now, what you're saying about the instruments, this time around, what I had done is I had written a lot of like demos, and okay, so right at the beginning, I was doing a New Year's gig last year with a couple of guys, and we were playing at this winery in Yellingup. It was actually a wedding, and I stood there and I looked out and I thought, okay, this is the moment. You got to get back in and produce some music and get it out there. It was mainly because, what do you have to give your kids afterwards, once you've passed away? I had a moment of reflection anyway, and so I did that, and I came home and I thought, you might have seen it, I published on Facebook, this big New Year's resolution. Right, I'm going to put an album out by the
I remember that.
End of April or something, 4 months. I can do this. I'm carrying a day job. I've got 2 kids to look after and taking them back to school. Anyway, needless to say, the 4 months wasn't quite enough time, so it kind of stretched a little bit, and then I started getting into thinking, what should I do? Should I play live instruments on this album, or should I go down the path of trying to make it a bit more like your computer generated samples and drum loops and that kind of stuff? And I went over to Matt Milford, who was really kind and offered me to do some vocals over at his place. So I went over there, and he said, this is really good, but it might be better if we try it with a little bit of a sort of a more modern type of feel. And I thought about it and thought, yeah, okay. So I came up with a bit of an idea, and I played it to my daughter, because my daughter's right into music, and when I came home, and she goes, yeah, it's okay, Dad, but you know what? It's not, be yourself. Don't do all that computer generated stuff. And I'm going, but no, that's old hat. I've got to be thinking of the future here. She goes, nah, just be yourself. And so from that was kind of the moment I thought, right, this has to be live drums, live bass guitars, and I've put some keyboards on there as well, which is kind of sampled. But yeah, so that's kind of how. So I've gone with real instruments as opposed to all the samples that you hear nowadays. You know.
Free Me does, correct me if I'm wrong.
So the only one on the album, sorry, that I have used drum samples and stuff. Yeah, you're right there. Sorry,
yeah, good. Nah, look, I mean, obviously it suits that song extremely well, because it has that really sort of popish feel to it. But again, like your vocals in that song, it's so close, it's so personal. It's I've listened to it a lot today, obviously when I was trying to prep for the program. So I've heard it on my headphones a lot today, and sort of like when you put it on, you get that music up really close in your own little bubble. Man, it's look, hats off to that one. It's such a strong song, man. Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm really excited to hear, genuinely excited to hear the rest of the album. So,
thanks, mate. You know,
when is it out though? When is it out, Craig?
Okay,
come on.
So, okay, I'll give you. Here's it. Right. Okay, so I've got another long story. Do you mind if I tell more long stories?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of the way I roll, you know. But anyway, okay, so. The album, actually, I wanted to record it initially in Perth, and I had a couple of guys. Obviously, Matt Milford was one of them, and Rob Agostini was another guy. There's a few producers in Perth that I really think do a great job, and I thought, okay, so we'll record it with these guys because I kind of knew them anyway. And two things put me off that. One was they were a bit close as friends as well, and I know what I'm like. I'm too pedantic, and I'll be in there and I'll be going, you know what? I think that little vocal should go up a little bit, or that little guitar bit should go down, and I would just have completely pissed them off, you know. And they got so fed up with me, they would just have said, "Oh man," you know. And the second thing was, when you hire studio time, you're paying by the hour, and much as though Matt had, you know, and they offered me great deals and stuff like that, I could just see the hours would start to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden you'd be like, oh shit, man, now I can't afford it. I'm halfway through an album. So I was out buying a pedal one day, a guitar pedal from a gig one night, and the guy who was living in Subiaco at the time that sold me the pedal was a producer from Melbourne, and he said to me, I told him, I said, oh yeah, I'm just trying to do a bit of an album at the moment, but it's taking a bit of time. He goes, oh man, you should just get on soundbetter.com. I was, well, what's soundbetter.com? And he goes, yeah, that's where all the producers hang out, and you can find whoever you want to record the album. So I said, really, mate? So I went home and I went on soundbetter.com, and all of a sudden it asks you to put the project up. So I just chucked up album, 12 songs. How much is it to mix it and master it? And I got about 12 replies straight away from these, like, some of them were the most amazing producers worldwide, and the range of the budget was from something like about $1,200 for the whole album to about $50,000, you know. So obviously from a guy that worked out at Abbey Road, and I just thought, man, this is amazing. So I thought I'll check a few of these guys out, and there was one guy. I checked out his mixes and thought, geez, this guy's good. So I looked up into what he did, and he had given me this really good, reasonable quote to produce and mix this album. And I thought, great, I can just record the stems, I can record the guitar parts and the music and all the rest of it, throw it over to him. So that's kind of how it started. I got in touch with this guy, and he just happened to be a bit of a Grammy award-winning mixer, believe it or not. He'd won a Latin Grammy, and I thought, what? So I'm getting a Grammy producer as well, and for a reasonable price. So that was the defining. I thought, okay, we've got to go down. I've got to get that done. So, and then I was lucky enough. I knew you were busy at the time with a lot of things in your personal life, and so was Matt. And I thought, I'll just start it anyway. But I want live drums, and I found Sam Pettit, who some people might know from the Perth music scene. He plays with Darren Reed, and Sam is an amazing drummer as well, and he's got this business called Fatback Fatback Productions, which I'll give you a bit of a shout out. But yeah, and what an amazing experience that was. So I sent the drum ideas that I had on my little demos, and he listened to them and he played them back and he recorded them for me. I was blown away. I thought, oh man, this is just exactly what it needs. So that was the first part, and I had already been playing with another good friend of mine, Duncan McIntosh, and he offered to learn all the bass parts and to put them down, and he did an amazing job as well. So I'm really grateful, particularly to these two guys, for this album, because it wouldn't have sounded the way it does without them, that's for sure. So thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I suppose again, you know, obviously being a musician these days, unfortunately, you know, it's really difficult to make a money, especially playing originals. Has that ever been anything that sort of has been a bit of a worry for you, or you? I'm assuming, obviously, you can hear that on your songs that you're doing it for the love of the music. But like, what is your plan once you get this album out? Are you planning on making $1 million, or? Well, I mean, is there any long-term investment, or is it mainly just to sort of, you know, actually make your New Year's resolution come to life?
What do you mean after I sell the first 100 million albums, or the second 100 million?
either one. Let's just get the album out, Craig. Let's just get the first one out. You know, let's.
Yeah, anyway,
you got to start somewhere.
I didn't even answer your question at the end there. Sorry, but just getting back to that. So yeah, so the album, you asked when's it coming out. I wasn't trying to dodge it like a politician.
I would have come back onto that one anyway. So you're not leaving tonight without a date.
The last song is being mixed in Sweden tonight, actually. So and then we've got a couple of tiny little fix-ups, which honestly won't take much because we've listened to all the demos and we're pretty happy with them. So I reckon another, can I say 2 weeks? Because I actually think it will be 1 week, but it might be 2 weeks. Okay, so there you go.
You can say whatever you want. We just need a date. So if you're saying 2 weeks, let me just give you a hint here. Maybe make it a month.
let me say 30th of April at the absolute latest. How about that?
30th of April, mate. That's in 13 days.
I know. That's what I mean. 2 weeks. Yep.
Oh, you heard it here first.
Oh God, I hope I'm right.
It's gonna be on the cover of Rolling Stone next week.
Hang on, I got to crack a beer. That's what you usually do at Friday. But what time is it? 8:55.
Mate, I haven't had a drink for a year and a half now.
Really?
I have not had alcohol since I think the 30th of October 2018. Yep.
And how's it working out? Is it going good or?
Yeah, it is. It is what it is. You know, it becomes habit. Hey, you know, it's. Yeah. You give it up. It almost not that I want to get into that, but yeah, it just started and just escalated and just kept going. So
yeah. Well, you're looking healthy. I got to say, mate, you're looking well. You're looking well.
My long hair, my long beard, is my COVID coronavirus haircut.
You'll be Jason Momoa before you know it, buddy.
Oh man. I am personally a little bit curious to find out in regards to how you come up with these songs, because it's so funny. I remember when you put out the first link for your Bandcamp page, which again I'll drop a link to that shortly as well. But when I first heard Free Me, I was like, man, that's that sound again. That's that Craig Ballantyne signature sound. Okay. How do you do it? What's the trick? Like how does Craig Ballantyne create songs from start to finish?
Well, it's always the music first. That's the one thing. I'll either sit at the piano or I'll sit at my guitar and just try and find little melodies in my head that go along with the chords. And for me, the chords that work, or that I hear in my head, always seem to be the kind of major to the major sixth kind of vibe. And I don't know why that happens in my head, but it just, and so I kind of get that melodic kind of pentatonic-y scale, if that means anything to the non-musicians out there. And and then I kind of figure out the melodies, and then I usually at that point think, okay, what could this be about? I'll try and get a chorus for it, or I'll try and think up a line for the actual chorus, so that, and if I get a strong hook, I'll know that, all right, that can be a good chorus. Now what do I do? And then I'll try and work out the verses, and I'll try and work out the little bits in between. But that's kind of how I do it, you know. The other thing is, I have to admit, in this the last album and this album, there's a software that I use called Omnisphere, and to me, and I don't know what it is about that software, but it actually makes you write songs. You can play anything, and it just kind of brings the melodies out. So it's a weird kind of thing, but so that's been a big thing. And the other thing is, I've only ever kind of written, well, not only ever, but a lot of the songs are about personal experiences, and so if everything's going well in your life, you kind of don't write much, you know. So it's when the things are starting to get a little bit down, or you're facing a few dramas in your life, that seems to bring out the songs in me, you know. And there's a couple on this album that my daughter's actually sung harmonies on, and I'm so stoked because I think she's got a bigger future than I'll ever have. She's written a lot of songs already, and she's only 13, and sometimes I called her in. There was twice I called her in and said, in actual fact, there's a song on the album called Roll On Monday. And it's actually about my kids, and way at the beginning when I had my separation, I moved to my mum's place, and I only saw them sort of like every second Monday or something, I think it was at the time. Fortunately, it's completely different now. I get to see them all the time, and it's awesome. But back then it was a little bit different. So this song, Roll On Monday, was about just hanging out for that one day, that you could see the kids again. And I was doing it about a couple of weeks ago, and I was sitting there like, I can't find what harmony would work in the chorus. So I called my daughter through, and she come in and she goes, Dad, that's easy. Just sing this. And I go, what? And she worked it out. I said, Leah, just jump in the vocal booth and sing that for me, would you? So she did. And so that's on the song. And because it was about the kids, it's made it even more personal. So I'm really stoked about that one, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's an amazing story. And again, I remember a couple of weeks ago or something. I think you posted a song that she had written. Is that right? Or like something? It was definitely something of hers, where you had to help her do like a little lyric video or something.
I did help her do the video, but I didn't do any of the music. The music was completely hers, and she played the guitar and she sang it, she has really got something that, and I can't quite explain what it is, but I think her lyrics are fantastic for someone so young, and melodies, and they're just great. So I hope she goes well, but I'm not going to try and push her or anything, you know.
Nah, but it sounds like she's got it going for her. But you're saying, I don't know what it is. Could it be the genes, maybe the last name? You know.
Well, I don't know. Maybe her mum was actually a really great musician and didn't want to ever tell me. But I don't know.
Mate, if you can pat yourself now, you know, in these days, social distancing and stuff, you can give yourself a pat on the back.
Thanks.
Mate, I was like, look, every time I put this on, and again, at the end of the day, I know this is a 46 Brigade album. I know I played the drums on it and stuff, but it's your songs, you wrote them. But that album, man, it's like, as I said before, there's just something about how you write, like the melodies, the way it's put together, and your voice. And listening to these new tracks again, as I said, when I first heard "Free Me," it was like, man, there it is again. To me, not that I think that's if you need to go into a couple of songs, but for like "Alien," "Like I Never Met You," some of those songs has that same like the chord progression and the harmonies of those songs. And it's just like it's so good. It's so good to hear, and I'm so happy that you are, if you are actually putting this album out, but that I'm so looking forward to hearing it. And
thanks, buddy.
yeah,
I actually hope that you can still be part of it, because the whole thing, the whole 46 Brigade thing is really just it started off as a project for the writing, and hopefully getting it out and playing live. And through the time, Bruce Fraser played drums at the beginning. Then we had Dan Toll came on, played a bit of bass, and there was Matt, there was yourself. So I'm kind of hoping that and now there's Duncan, Sam's been on it, and we've got hopefully a good pool of musicians. Dave Giuffre's played some keys with me on a couple of gigs that I did, acoustically. So I'd love to think that we're not too old to put something together and go out and play these songs live. Maybe not now while we've got the coronavirus, but sometime when it all clears up, we can get out and play some songs again.
Yeah, I was about to.
Both albums. So.
Yeah, I was about to say. You mentioned before about the name and how it started. Can you just for people that don't know, can you tell us the story behind the name? Because I think that's quite funny.
So I was driving out with Kel, my ex, and actually she thought the name. It wasn't me. I was driving along, and at the time I was 46 years old. And I said to her in the car, I said, you know what? This is driving me crazy. I said, I want it to be a band. I don't want it to just be me playing an acoustic guitar, but I really like to get these songs out. So, I want to form a band. If I formed a band, what do you reckon the name should be? I said, because I just feel like, I'm kind of like a little one-man army here, and I don't want to be. I want it to be a band. She goes, well, you're 46, and you don't want to, you want it to be an army. What about a brigade? I goes, 46 Brigade. Yeah, that's it. And that's how it happened. So
that's it. But surely it would be upgraded by now. Like, if you've been in the army for, what is it? It was like 7 years. 7 years later, what would that be now?
It's 56 Brigade now, isn't it?
Oh man, doesn't have the same ring to it. You got to change the logo and all that. So
yeah, that's true.
So let us see what we're up to. So I can see we have a couple of questions here that we've had sent through. Do you want to try and go through a couple of them?
Sure. Have we got? Yeah. Okay.
So we have something here, which is someone who's asking who and what inspired you to get into music and become a songwriter. That's a good one, actually.
Okay, well, it was Bruce Springsteen, I've got to say straight away. And a lot of these songs, in fact, 2 or 3 of these songs on this new album, very Springsteen-like songs, I think. It was so it was Bruce Springsteen, and the occasion was Wembley Arena. When I actually, back then, I bought tickets to go and see Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band at Wembley Arena. This was when I was growing up in Scotland. And back in the days, you couldn't order tickets from Ticketek or anything. So what I did was you had to send away in an envelope for these tickets. And in the envelope, I chucked in an extra £10 and a little note that said, if you can get us front row seats, I'll love you forever, or something like that. So, and there was a few mates went down to London with me. And so anyway, these tickets came back second front row. I couldn't believe it. I thought, second front row, Bruce Springsteen concert. I'm in heaven. And when I went down there, I knew every word of every song he had, because he's a bit of a storyteller. And I loved the way he wrote songs. So, yeah, we were there and we're jumping and getting in. And he played this song called The Promised Land. And he was playing the harp and the harmonica. And because I had been up singing all the words back to him, I think he kind of might have spotted this guy down here. And he put his hand over with the harmonica, like to give me it as and I remember going, oh my God, I've got Bruce Springsteen's harp. And all of a sudden I just felt all these people rushing me from behind. Oh no, what's going to happen? And the harmonica dropped and I don't know what happened to it, but I missed it out. So. But yeah, Bruce Springsteen, he was the guy that got me into it.
So with that, like you dropping the harp, would that have anything to do with the Broken Promised Land song from your first album?
No. Broken harmonica, like no, a bit different. But,
no, that's good. That's good. Actually, I just thought of another story here. Didn't you used to play some shows with Bryan Adams? at some stage?
I did. Yeah, I got a support act for Bryan Adams, which was again, it was a bit. I jagged it. I had just released an album, and I thought I'll take a chance and write to Frontier Touring at the time, see if I could get this. But back in those days, there was half a chance of getting a support act if no one knew who you were. And so I took a chance and I contacted Frontier Touring, and it just so happened that the girl who was supposed to support her was a girl called Nikki Costa, I think her name was, and she had the support act, but she got sick and couldn't do them. So this guy rings me up. He said, "Are you ready to go? You can have the support act." So that was like the biggest thing I'd ever done. So we did it, and it was actually one of the guys on Facebook from Perth, Rick Vandervelt, he mixed it that night, and what a sound he gave us. I remember that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was an experience, great experience. So
do you have any photos or anything from?
I think I do. I think I do have some stuff back then, but there's a little bit of audio footage or something as well. But yeah, it wasn't much. So yeah,
that's a great story to tell the kids and grandkids one day, isn't it?
They don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
I was telling you a lot. Sorry, I was about
to say like who the hell is Bryan Adams? You know, like
well, that's funny because last night I got a message back from this guy who's mixing the album in Sweden, and he said, "You'll never believe it." He said the last 2 songs that I've mixed on this album, I've mixed on the exact same mixing desk that was used for Queen Under Pressure song and Don't Stop Me Now. I goes, really? He goes, yeah, mate. He says, I'm using all the old analog gear and stuff. And I came through and told my daughter, and she's like, who's Queen? But then
that's
Freddie Mercury. And she goes, oh, Dad, really? So she was all chuffed. So her vocals have gone through a Freddie Mercury desk. So she's,
that's something you should tell your friends about at school, I guess.
Yeah.
How old is she now again? So 13 or?
Yeah, 13. Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely has a future ahead.
Yeah.
Do you want to jump on to the next one here? I suppose this next one is probably along the same lines. This is what artists influenced your writing style. I'm assuming that would probably be along the same lines.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen at one point, and then I think more artists a bit like I love the Killers. I love Snow Patrol. I like Keane. Now, Keane is one of my favorite bands. I don't know if you've heard much Keane yourself, Steph, but
I've heard a little bit,
yeah. I mean, there's lots of different influences throughout, but just anything that's kind of melodic and got a little bit of sort of feel good thing about it, I quite like. I did try and write some stuff and target it toward Triple J when I was younger, but I can't write that kind of left of center stuff. I love it, but I just can't write it, and so I'm probably more in the commercial pop writing stuff.
Triple J is something that I must admit, coming down here as a non-Australian, every time I listen to Triple J, it makes me want to fucking vomit, man. Like, I think that's it's the worst music. It's all this indie hippie shit. I do not like it at all. I must admit it.
I actually kind of do like it. The one thing I do like about it is, I don't listen to it all the time, I got to be honest, but I do like the fact that they give a lot of different artists a go, and there's a lot of, half of it I'll listen to, I go, oh shit, that's not me, man, but then something will come on, I'll go, wow, I didn't, and so I like it from that perspective. Yeah, definitely.
I suppose maybe I haven't listened to it enough, but I must admit, like the times I have, and the whole on Australia Day when you do the what is it, the countdown 100 or something?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh man, I want to slip my wrist halfway through it. It's like it's so bad. Like it's obviously not my genre at all. Like it's all that but anyway, each to their own, I guess.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So is there any live performance stories that bring back memories, funny or otherwise? Now let us hear something about that, Mr. Ballantyne.
Live performances.
Is there anything? Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was a couple that one time I actually used to play saxophone at one point in this band in the 80s, and I'll never forget trying to go out and do this.
Hang on, Craig. Do you play saxophone?
I do, yeah. Well, I did back then, but haven't played it for a while.
Stop the press, man. What are you?
No, I'm not very
saxophone.
Good at it, I'm not that good at it anymore. But yeah, actually, do you want me to tell you another story about the saxophone or not?
I would much rather hear about the saxophone than I hear. What the hell, man?
I'll give you the quick version of the saxophone. I bought the saxophone instead of an engagement ring for a girl that I was going out with, and I thought I've got to learn this.
Oh man!
So I bought the saxophone and I learned it up. And when I came to Australia, I got a job in this a band called the Hurricanes in the 80s, and I was playing saxophone one night, and back then there was like 2,000 people at these pub gigs and stuff, and right, I'm going to go out here and I'll get the sax. This is my chance to shine, a big solo coming in the middle. And I went forward and I couldn't see the front of the stage because of the lights. Bloody went arse over right over the front of the stage and back straight into the audience, and the saxophone's up here, and I bust the F sharp key, came bugging flying off it, and so embarrassing. So that's probably, that'd be my most embarrassing, if you like, live story.
Well, that's even better, man. I think a question that we need the answer of this straight away. What happened to the fiance?
That's why I came to Australia. She came out here to live, and because I realised I'd made a mistake buying a saxophone instead of an engagement ring.
Oh, you reckon? You reckon?
Well, in hindsight, maybe not. But at the time, I've got to go. And her family had emigrated to Australia, and I thought I've got to chase. I've got to chase after her. But when I got here, she was with someone else, but the beautiful thing about that was I got to find out this wonderful country that we live in. So it was good.
And you had a saxophone instead of an engagement ring. That would be pretty obsolete by the time you got there, anyway. So. Yeah. All right. Let us try and jump on to the next one here. So what is your future plans musically? I'm assuming, besides touring with Bruce Springsteen and Bryan Adams, then you must have a couple of ideas with this future, not future anymore, on the 30th of April, the album release. Yeah. So what's the plans, Mr. Ballantyne?
Well, look, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but one thing I've never done and I've never achieved in my life is to play at a decent size music festival. I would love to do that, with a full band. So if I could ever make that happen before, I die, that'd be number one. But apart from that, I think it's just I've got a kind of almost a sense of fulfillment and achievement that I got another album out and might be a chance to play it. Maybe it's time to try and help my daughter a bit more with her songs and just go down that path, because she's really passionate about it too. So I might give her a bit of help,
So maybe do a bit of backing vocals for her few songs. You can play saxophone.
Nah, she wouldn't want me on her album. That's for sure, mate.
Oh man, I love that saxophone story. I think that's gonna. Don't think I can let that one go for.
The thing was, Steph, that's when I went to buy the engagement ring, I think I had £400 in my pocket, and the saxophone that I saw was in the window for £380 in and I had gone around every single jeweler's shop looking for the perfect engagement ring to give my girlfriend, and I couldn't find the perfect one. And then just before I was about to come home, the saxophone was there in the window of the music shop, and I got the money in my pocket. Well, I mean, what do? Sometimes you just go with your gut, don't you?
Oh, so wait, so it wasn't the same shop that happened to have engagement rings and saxophones? It was two different shops? Get out of town, man.
Well, back in Glasgow, or back at that time anyway, where I was growing up, they had this arcade in a place called Suckyhole Street in Glasgow. And it was all jeweler's shops, so you could walk around the whole arcade, all the jeweler's shops. And then when you come to the end of it, there was a shop, as you turned left, there was a little shop on the left-hand side. I think it was called Biggers or McCormack's or something. I can't remember, but it was a music shop. And so as I had done my duty looking for the engagement ring and come out the other end, when you can't find an engagement ring and you got the money in your pocket, man, what would you have done?
Uh, how old were you again? How old were you back then?
Because I know what you would have done. You would have bought the engagement ring because
No.
you have managed to keep yourself with a beautiful wife and 3 kids, and I've lost mine. So you did the right thing.
But I didn't even have an engagement ring. Like I don't even think Ash is wearing a ring. It's like we're not too big on all that marriage stuff. I mean, we're obviously married and stuff, and we're quite happy and all that. But the whole thing about needing a ring, and you have people that are buying fucking $10,000-$20,000 rings, and it's like, why do you need to wear that on your finger?
I know. Wow. But do you know what? I think maybe the coronavirus thing is going to change all that. I think people are starting to get used to not really needing that much anymore. I hope so. Anyway, I'm a little bit of a minimalist myself, probably through choice because I don't make much money. But I kind of hope so, because it'd be nice to think you could get through life without having to have too many material bits of shit around.
I suppose with the whole sort of. I suppose with the whole coronavirus as well, there's obviously also the fact that you can't invite all your friends to the wedding, all the friends we actually do want to show off, and that's the whole reason why people get all these expensive rings is it's all about me on this special day.
Yeah.
So it's obviously if you can only bring 5 or 10 friends or something, or I think it's even less now for weddings. But again, all of that is going to change anyway. So it'll go at some time. It'll go back to being normal.
And then the bands will get the gigs at the weddings again, and we'll all be happy. So it'll be good.
Oh man, playing wedding gigs, hey, that's something else.
Do you play many wedding gigs these days?
Not these days, but I think the last wedding gig we played. The last wedding gig we played, actually, now I think about it, was fucking awesome. That was a bunch of super cool kids, and they're getting married down in Point Walter, I think. So really like high end venue, and all the young and beautiful people. But now that was actually a really good, really fun gig.
It's a thing. Wedding gigs can be some amazing experiences, but I do have one other little story talk about wedding gigs. I've got to share this one, but again, it was back when I was playing in Glasgow. I had a little band, and we were doing this wedding, and we were playing a cover song of Eric Clapton, "Wonderful Tonight," and we're going into this nice slow waltz, and ladies and gentlemen, so John and Samantha are going to get up and do the first dance here, and John and Samantha get up and had this lead guitar player, and he's getting right into it. Now using his wah-wah pedal and all this shit, Next minute, a guy from one of the families comes flying across the room, smashes into the bridegroom with a punch, and it's on for young and old, and I'm thinking, shit, what's going on? There was a massive big bust up, a big fight on the dance floor, and I'm going, what do we do here now? And the lead guitarist guy, he looks up and he just goes, play on, lads, the show must go on. So he kept playing, and all of a sudden there's bodies flying everywhere. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
But it was, I kid you not, that's what happened.
Where was this? Where was this? In Perth?
No, this was in Glasgow. It was a place called
Yeah.
Pretty rough place, the old Glasgow.
Oh, I was about to say, yeah, some drunk Scottish guys. all pumped up on haggis.
That's right, mate. That's right. You ever had haggis? Have you ever had a bit of?
Yeah, I did actually. We went to. Did we go to? Yeah, we did go to Glasgow. Went all the way up to Loch Ness. This is before we had kids, so this is like freaking 9 years ago, I think. Yeah, Scotland's a beautiful country. Ash really likes everything. I think she keeps saying that's her favorite country. So now it's absolutely beautiful. We have a massive photo of us laying on the grass up on the top of the hill, overlooking. We've got Loch Ness in the background and stuff. But and beautiful country, beautiful country. We had a really, really good time there. And yes, we did go to Glasgow, and yes, we did have haggis. So
yeah, okay, that's
can check that one out. Let's try and grab one more question here, and then let's try and try and wrap this up shortly. So I've got one here which I think is pretty good, and then obviously we want to jump over and see if there's anyone who's commented on the chat as well, because I can see there's quite a bit that has popped up while we've been chatting as well. But the one here is something. It's a good one, and it could be maybe a personal question to that one as well. It is what is your favorite song on the album? If you could grab a song and tell us a bit about it from the new album, and why that is your favorite song.
I think it's got to be Roll On Monday, because it's just about a time in my life where I was pretty desperate, and there's so much personal emotion in that song. Yeah, it would have to be Roll On Monday, I think. Yep. I think I'd categorically say that. I think without, yeah. It's not. I don't think it's a single or anything like that. But for me personally, it's probably my favorite. Yeah.
Speaking of singles, actually, because I was thinking about that earlier. So, have you got something in mind? Are you going to do like a pre-release? Are you going to put that song out before the album? I know you already have the 2 songs out now. Actually, I'll put a link up shortly as well. But yeah, you do have. So you got Free Me, and you got what's the other one? Do you wanna?
Yeah. The other one's up there. But no, you know what? This is just me personally. It's probably because I'm an older muso and sort of past the use by date. But I'm not subscribing at the moment to the way things are done, if you like. You record a one single, you put one single out, and then you try and get that for, I don't know, run that for 6 months, and then you put another single out, and I don't know. I just feel for me, because people were saying to me, but you put an album out and then everyone just goes, oh yeah, that album was all right, and you've forgotten. To be honest, mate, that doesn't really bother me, and I mean that most sincerely. It's not about longevity or trying to. I just want to put the music out, and hopefully people enjoy it and get a bit of, they can drive in the car and listen to it and maybe feel good for some of the songs. So not sure whether that answered your question there, but was that what you were kind of getting?
Yeah, no, it's obvious. Like, it was just to try and get you, or I think how it was written was, like your favorite song and why that song is your favorite song.
Well, that would be on Monday, but like as I say, I definitely probably would say that if I write any music and put stuff out in the future, probably won't be an album. It's really difficult. It's really hard. I mean, for me personally, it's a lot of time involved. It's a lot of effort, and I think doing the single thing, even though I said I don't subscribe to it, it's probably a lot easier way to go. So I might do that in future maybe. But yeah, I'm proud of this album, I got to say, and I'm so stoked, like I said earlier, about the guys who helped me. Duncan and Sam, they just done an amazing job, and obviously Thomas, who mixed it as well. I'm over the moon with what he's done. And your own support, Steph, and Matt as well. Matt's actually got a line on there, one of the songs. I think he came in and did a harmony that I couldn't quite hit the note. So that's on there.
Yeah, awesome.
It's be on there. So yeah, hopefully it'll go all right and people will enjoy it, and that'll be it.
Awesome. Now, look, I was thinking about that. It would be really cool, maybe, to have both yourself and Matt in one day, and have a chat about the old album and actually maybe even, because I know on this album, which I suppose you could maybe call it one of the singles, there was Soldier, which is about Anzac Day. It might actually be an opportunity to maybe play that song, because we've got Anzac Day coming up shortly. But that's something we can obviously talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk about later. Just sort of here. Before we wrap it all up, I've done a little banner for you here in regards to where you can pre-order the CD. So how I found Free Me, and I think you posted this link about was it about New Year's or something, where you said that and the album was going to be out very, very soon, and this is like no, it's like 3 or 4 months ago, but yeah, so you can go on to 46brigade.bandcamp.com and actually listen to Free Me and do you wanna? Yeah.
There's a couple of songs on there at the moment, but yeah, like I think next week, if you do go on and pre-order it, that would be awesome. But I really do think no more than 2 weeks, because like I say, the last song, hopefully after I finish this interview, I might be sent a mix. And
by the time you finish this interview, mate, you would have sold 1 million. You have sold a million pre-orders.
Well,
I've got a little banner up now. I've got a little banner up now where you can say you can order the album for $15, and you have to do that right now. If you don't do it now, you can wait till the stream is done, and then you go on to 46brigade.bandcamp.com and you order the fucking album. Done.
That's awesome. That's really good of you. But I will say, there's one snag. I'm saying the album's complete, but I've got to say this. It was supposed to be 12 songs on there. The one song that I haven't been able to finish was a song that I wanted to involve, probably 3 or 4, maybe more Perth musicians that I really wanted to be on that song. The chorus is a kind of gospel thing. And I think just due to all this coronavirus stuff and lockdowns, and it's just been too hard to, and I didn't want to keep the album from just getting out there. So if you order it, you can have 11 songs now, and then you'll get the 12th whenever coronavirus is over and I manage to actually meet some people again and record it. So it won't be 12 songs, it will be 11 for now.
One last thing, and I just thought of that now. You told me a story when we were having a little test of the whole connection thing, and you're having some issues with your microphone yesterday. You told me a story about this. You did a little bet or something with your son.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I said to him, because my son, I love him to bits. He's not really as musical as my daughter, obviously, but he's right in his footy, and that's another passion. I love footy. I love the Dockers. So do you, eh? You're a Dockers man. I was talking to him the other night there, and he says to me, "Dad, do you want to go and have a kick of the footy?" And I goes, "Oh, Lockie, I really need to get this album finished." He goes, "Dad, you've been saying you're going to finish this album for ages. When's it going to be finished?" I said, "Lachlan, I've had enough of this, mate." I said, "It's going to finish tonight." And I'm thinking, "Oh shit, how am I going to finish it tonight?" So that was Sunday. At 1 minute to 12 on Sunday night, I put down the last little harmony vocal, and so he didn't get his $100. He bet me. I bet him $100.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm going to give him it anyway. Yeah. I'll give him the first 6 album sales, and he can have his $100. How's that? Does that make you feel better?
I was about to say, you're father of the year, man. That's finish it.
I think that's you, mate. You're the father of the year, buddy. And
no. I'm sitting here. I've been spending.
I'm not trying to put smoke up your ass, mate. But you are probably the most role model dad and that I've ever met. You're a genius, mate. You really, the struggles and the happiness that you've brought to your family, mate. And from me to you personally, well done. You're a top dad, mate. Keep it up. So.
Oh, mate, you're not too bad yourself, hey. Like, look, you've written a song about your kids, and you're releasing it now. Like that's a huge part of like a legacy to leave behind, isn't it?
Yeah, you're writing songs now as well, aren't you?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm obviously devoting a lot of time to this at the moment, but yeah, I've got songs in the background, but again, it's so difficult for me to get it out. Obviously, being a drummer, but I can't. I can do the odd little. You can have me to do a line and that's a backing vocal in one song, but that's it. I'm not a guitarist. I'm not a bass player. I'm not I can do a little bit of keyboard, but it's a lot easier. It'll be a lot easier for you. Yeah. Oh, look. Yeah, absolutely. I might take you up on that. Yeah, I might take you up on that.
For sure, but
you can do some proper good old times 46 Brigade heavy metal.
I like it, mate. I like it. But but good luck with this show, because I hope it takes off for you, mate. I really think it will, actually. So
look, I must admit, I really enjoy it. It's just, and I can see I'm trying to get like I practice a lot. I'm trying to get better and all this stuff here now with the banners and texts and bits and pieces, and I've just put the whole thing up again now, where you can tell people about how to pre-order the album and stuff. So I've actually written. Sorry, just to interrupt myself there. In regards to your social media, I've put up the Facebook 46 Brigade Band and the Craig Ballantyne Music Facebook pages. Is there any other social media platforms that you're currently using?
To be honest, I'm not that good at the social media thing, but I'm going to have to try and learn it. So I sent out a whole lot of invites last night to try and get people to like the page, but I'm really not that good at it, but I'll try my best to get the marketing down pat coming up. So if you get pissed off with me putting up these posts and all that, I do apologize, but you've got to try and get it out somewhere. So yeah, but I've only got, I think we got Instagram, but I've put nothing on the Instagram, I think, because I wouldn't even know how to post to Instagram.
So what's your Instagram account? Is that just 46 Brigade, or?
It is. I think if you just look up that, it's there. So, but yeah,
good.
That's the next thing. I got to try and get my head around that a little bit and see if I can work it out, mate.
Excellent. Well, look. Before we wrap it up, let's try and have a look here and see if there is some comments here. My sister, who will actually be talking to us on Monday, is saying that she's looking forward to you releasing the album too. I'm hoping she'll probably buy it tonight. You never know. Like, and that's again like $15. It's Friday night. Like, if you were to go out on a normal night, you would spend 10 times that. You know, what's $15? You know, that's a pint these days. Then we got a Mr. Scott Ballantyne. Is that a relative?
Scott, that's my cousin. Oh, Scotty.
There you go.
He's tuning in. Oh, I love Scott. He's a great cousin.
Scott said it's great to hear your voice, and he'll definitely get a copy. Obviously, it has to be signed, he says. So
awesome, Scott. Yep, it'll be signed, mate. It'll be signed with the I don't know, what can I sign it with? I've got a little texter at the back there. I'll get that for you, Scott.
Are you actually doing a hard copy? Like
actually, no, it won't be signed. You're right. It won't be signed because.
Well, you can't do that in these Corona days anyway. So it has to be a digital signature, man. You can take a photo.
It's going to be digital release at this stage only because I don't know. Do people really buy CDs anymore, or do they? I don't know. I've had this question with a few people, and I can't make my mind up because it's quite expensive to produce them, and I think I've still got about 16 boxes of the old album under my bed.
That might be a good package deal now. You know, if you pre-order the album tonight, you know, you get a.
Well, if people want it, then I guess I can make some up. I guess, but I was just going to try for the digital release. That was all.
Excellent. Let's see if there's anything else. I love Scotland from Gideon. Gideon will be with us on Tuesday and have a chat about his adventures.
Okay.
My mom as well is talking about the saxophone. You know, I think, well, like, why is there no saxophone on the album on any of the songs? NXS had great success with saxophone.
I actually sold the saxophone to a good mate of mine.
You did not.
His name's Michael Jackson, and he's a better sax player than me. But yeah, he got it. So I don't know if he's still got it, but I think he might have. I don't know. Yeah,
there we go. Excellent. Yeah. Well, look, let's try and wrap this up. Let's not wait too long and do this again. We can probably have another chat when the actual album is out. So hopefully it'll be in about 2 weeks. But otherwise, it'll be 2 months. So you don't know. You don't know.
Nah. It's done now, man.
Excellent. As a bit of the sort of outro here, I have added that little. You gave me a little snippet of Into the Great Unknown. Do you just here on the finishing line? Do you just want to just finish off and just tell us a little bit about that, what that song is about?
Okay. Well, Into the Great Unknown is the last track on the album, and that's basically where we go from this point. It's like, you know, okay, you've had all the heartache, you've moved on, you've become back to your normal self, hopefully again, and from this point, what are you going to do? So we're going into the great unknown. That's it, and it fades out because we don't know what the future holds, do we? So that's kind of where we're at.
Good stuff. Craig, one last thing. Super nice to talk to you again. Tell people again. Tell them to buy the album. I've got your details up now. Tell them to buy the album right now.
Please buy the album. Please buy the album. I've been living on noodles and beans for the last 6 months. I would love you to buy this album at 46
$15.
$15 at 46brigade.bandcamp.com, and that would be awesome. But thanks for having me on too, Steph. That was been awesome.
It was a pleasure. We should definitely do that again soon, Craig.
We will, mate. Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your beer, and I will play Yeah. Oh, perfect. Well, there you go.
All right, mate.
Excellent.
Again. Cheers, buddy.
Thanks so much, Craig. Cheers.
Thanks so much for tuning in or listening along to the show. If you like the show, please don't forget to leave a 5-star review and subscribe to my social channels. It doesn't cost you anything, but it greatly helps me to build my networks and my chances of getting sponsors to keep this show running. If you want to take it to the next level, please head over to patreon.com/Stephen Helhammer and become a patron by joining the exclusive community there. You can start from as little as $3 per month. And for just a little extra, you get access to some fantastic features, outtakes, behind the scenes stuff, and much, much more. That's less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month. And that way you can help me build better content. I can devote more time to find awesome guests and just generally keep everything flowing. If you want to be on the show or subscribe to my mailing list, send an email to steven@helhammer.com, and that is HELhammer.com. That way I can start sending you exclusive invites, random stuff, and messages that, who knows, you might enjoy. So that's it. Have a rocking day ahead, guys, and I will see you on the live stream or in your headphones very soon. Take it easy.